The artist I'm going to be covering today is Faith Ringgold. Faith Ringgold is an iconic African American artist who was born in New York City in 1930. She is still alive today. She's very old, but she's still producing content and knitting quilts and doing all sorts of things in the community. She worked as an art teacher in public schools and began her artist career with a series of paintings called The American People. In this series is where I'd like to focus today. She first started off by creating, the first one I want to highlight is American People Series number 20, Die, which is a scary piece that reflects on reality of the time and the time now as well. It's a hard-hitting piece that evokes the riots that were erupting around the country and blood spatters evenly across the interracial groups of people, of men, women, and children, showing that no one is free from the struggle that's being fought for. I think this piece really hits hard today because we so often think we're out of this time, but riots and protests are happening and have been happening for the past month to bang the gong of Black Lives Matter. And that's just one of the powerful murals, pictures, paintings in this series. Another one of these is Woman Looking in a Mirror, which was painted in 1966. It's oil canvas, and it is a black woman gazing right back at her reflection, and there's beautiful foliage in the background, and there's a massive difference in between her actual face and the face that's staring back at her. The face that's staring back at her is flat and has different features and looks different than what her face truly is. It's a very sad perspective on how black women viewed themselves in a time when they weren't looked at as the beautiful. They weren't looked at as the icon to strive after. They were looked at as something to dispose of and to get rid of. And that's not okay. And it's so important that she reflected that. The last piece I wanted to highlight was Hide Little Children, which was number 15 in the American People series and painted in 1964. And this is my favorite by far of some of her works. Number one, I just love the color and the clean lines. I love that in paintings. I love color and clean lines. Simplicity is everything to me. I think the complexity is messy sometimes, and the more simpler you can get it, the more easily evoking your message can be across a lot of the times. That doesn't go for every situation at all. But this depicts 3 white and 2 black people, children, most likely concealed in a very dense forest, like they're playing hide and go seek. And Ringgold explained it as the fear she had when she would let her children play with white children. And how she feared for their friendships and who they became socialized with in and out of school. The eyes are looking right out at the viewer, and they're supposed to invoke a witness Um, they're supposed to be as if they're a witness in a time of this ignorance and complicity. The reason I wanted to reflect on these three today is to note that what has changed. We've come full circle in having Black people having to continue to fight and fight and fight for rights that have not been given to them. And that has to change. Faith Ringgold says it too. Black Lives Matter.